Hey guys, so the myth story that I chose was about the Loch Ness Monster. Now, the earliest sightings of this supposed creature were in 6th century AD by a reporter, which his name is very difficult to pronounce, so I'm going to do my best. His name is Adomnan, and he reported the story about a man named Saint Columba. Now, it all started with St. Columba and his story, which he told to this reporter. St. Columba, and a group of his followers who joined him on a trip to the river were hanging out, just kind of talking. Then they noticed across the way a group of locals who were burying a man. Now, I would have been frightened if I had seen something happened like that. So they were curious. They all walked over to the other side of the river and they asked these locals what had happened. The locals told Columba and his followers that this man had been attacked by a water beast. Now, they tried to save this man. They said he was in the river and this creature just attacked him. They tried saving him by pulling him onto their boat, but it was too late and there was no luck. They failed. This man had died and they thought they were doing him justice by burying him where he had been killed. So St. Columba thought, how funny would it be if one of you men, one of my followers, decided to go swim across the river? Let's see what happens. So he challenged one of his followers to swim across the river. Now, one of them decided to do this. So he got in the river and they all see this creature. They're kind of freaking out. St. Columba yelled at the creature saying, "Stop, don't touch him. It's not safe, just go away." He was angry. He didn't want his follower to get hurt. Oddly enough, the creature heard him and listened. The creature stopped moving in the water, stopped swimming. It pulled away and swam off. And that was St. Columba's story. Now, to this day, there are some people who believe the creature exists and some who don't. Some people are so skeptical of this Loch Ness monster, the water beast. So St. Columba's sighting and experience has been told throughout history, like up until today, present day. People are telling his story to try and point out to the skeptics, hey, no, this story happened, this is true. So there was an author who wrote about conspiracies and cool myths and legends, and his name was Ronald Binns. He stated that Columba's story is the most legit and earliest said sightings in history. Now, 1933 rolls around and there's still no solid proof that this creature exists. And there's an English professor, Christopher Kearney from Georgia State University, and he was so fascinated by this story as well. So he used this very specific historical analysis of St. Columba's story, which then made him stumble upon a Celtic water beast. So there had been stories prior that this thing existed. And with that discovery, he discredited any connection between water horses and the media hype that created the Loch Ness Monster. So then that English professor had come to the conclusion that it could have been impacted by earlier Irish myths. And since the 1930s, there are witnesses and all sorts of people who have claimed that they've seen this monster. And you fast forward to present day to now, that there's still no concrete proof that the Loch Ness Monster exists. And in my personal opinion, I feel like if you don't witness it yourself, it's always going to be a mystery, and super fascinated by it. I would love to visit and go check it out for myself one day. So we'll see.